We'll begin with comments from Gregg, and then we'll take your questions.
Thank you, Michael. We were disappointed after the Germany game. We had a number of things to work on, and I felt like the team responded really well. That we were looking for aggression. We were looking for threatening their back line, ball moving from side to side, breaking in the middle, then going wide, and I think we did a good job of that. You can see the first half in particular was a really strong performance by the group, and overall, we talked about using these two games as a learning experience, and I think we certainly did that. We got some great information from the Germany game, and we're able to compete against a really talented Ghanaian team and get a good result. So overall, pleased with the camp, and now we move on to Nations League, where we're awaiting our opponent.
If you have a question in the room, please raise your hand. We'll start with Stephen Goff.
Greg, when you see the team, the attack clicking like it did, or collectively everything clicking in the first half, is this, you always want to see better, but is this sort of what you envision this group, this personnel, being able to do at their capacity?
It's again, to me, it's a work in progress, and our job is to continue to build and progress and get better and improve. And when you see a half like the first half that we played, it certainly is a marker that we're getting better and we're improving. And so that's important. But again, I think it's still going to take work. It's still going to take focus and progress by the whole group to get to where we need to be.
Second question.
Yeah.
Gio scoring twice tonight.
Yeah.
It's been a trying year for him in many ways, on and off the field.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on him being able to, I guess, punctuate things with a couple goals and playing well in these two matches?
Yeah, the goal for Gio in this camp was to play him 245 minutes. And much like Balo in the last camp, we wanted to send him off on a good way. But a lot of that has to do with the player and the player's mindset. And I think Gio, what I've seen from training session number 1 in this camp, was extreme amount of focus and ability. So when he plays like that, like he did this entire camp, he's certainly a guy that can help this group. And it's really good to see him respond like that.
Second row to your left.
Hey, Greg. Valeria Shabilla with Broadway Sports. Can you take away much from a match where you were up 3-0, 22 minutes in? And if so, what were the main takeaways that you saw from tonight?
Yeah, that's an interesting question, because if we would have scored 3 goals late, the question would have been, why are we leaving late? Why are we scoring late goals, So to me, of course, you need to be professional and you need to win these games, and we did that. And that's the important thing. Ghana has a ton of talent. When you look at the roster, they have Champions League players, Premier League players, and it's a strong roster. So you have to be able to beat the teams that you face. And, the fact that we did it early was good. The one disappointment, I would say, would be when we made the 6 changes. We didn't get a similar type of impact that we would have liked. And that's a little bit disappointing, but I have to say our solutions have done a great job in these last 4 games, and even going back to Nations League. They've been really good coming off the bench, and tonight just wasn't the night for them.
In the back to your right.
Thank you, Coach. Russell Wiafi on
Hello.
TopSport.net in Chicago. Enough of you and Gio and all of that. Incredible performance today. How will you rate the performance of the Ghanaian team as well as the coach? Because most of the fans in Ghana are so pissed. But how personally will you rate the performance of the Ghanaian team? Thank you.
No, I have to say, and I'm not going to comment on the coach. That's not my job. That's not my style anyway. But what I would say is, being down 4-0 at halftime, Ghana had a choice. Right? They could have mailed in the second half and they could have lost 8-0, but they didn't do that. They kept fighting to the last minute of the game. You see the boy tried to shoot from half field, trying to get a goal, trying to do something. And, I think that's a mark of a team that's still fighting. And so, okay, they didn't play a great half, but they didn't give up, and that's an important quality that a team shows.
Hi, Coach. Jake Fenner, Daily Mail.
Hey, Jake.
The 4-2-4 worked pretty well against Germany. Didn't exactly produce the result that maybe the U.S. hoped, but it worked really well today. 4 goals in a great outburst. You saw a lot of people going forward. Is this a kind of tactic that you're going to use situationally, or is this alluding to that grand vision of changing soccer in America forever? Is that 4-2-4 kind of the physical embodiment of that idea?
So dramatic with your question. No, I wouldn't get too carried away with formation because, again, to me, it reflects the opponent. It reflects shape that we think can prevent can prevent the opponent from hurting us. And offensive shape always looks different than that, right? So, I don't think we get hung up on exactly what the formation looks like, but I think it's more about the combination play, the attacking play, the dynamic play that you saw today is what we're aspiring for. And then again, reflecting on the Germany game is, we can't concede like we did the amount of chances, and that needs to continue to be a focus. And today, very few chances conceded. Matt had one great save to keep the shutout, but that was important.
Back left.
Yeah, Greg, Ben Wright with Broadway Sports Media. You talked in the pre-match presser a little bit about just getting Balo involved.
Yep.
What did you make of obviously his goal, but just his involvement in possession in some of the early goals?
Yeah, it was, again, you can tell guys were looking for him, and that's the most important thing. One of the best players I've ever coached was running behind the back line, and you need guys picking up on his runs. You need guys that are brave enough to play the ball, and today you saw that. So I think that was a step forward for the team in terms of getting Balo involved, and you saw he was able to score and could have had a couple more also. Good performance.
Second one right in the middle.
Coach Thierry Nyan, TV3 Ghana.
Hello.
First of all, congratulations on your big win.
Thank you.
Although we are not happy. My question to you is, were you surprised by Ghana's rather very disappointing performance? And was it also a plan, to continue to use the right flank? Was it that you identified Ghana's left side of defense as a weak link in the entire team? So two questions in there, please.
No, well, I think, in the first half we were busy on the left as well, right? It was, part of the idea was to attack the sides of the field, both flanks. You saw Christian was very active, and then first half as well, the right side. So we want to be aggressive going on the sides. We want to draw them to the middle, then get to this side with speed, and we did that. But again, there were some good moments by Ghana in the game. You can see they have quality. You can see they have talent in the squad. It's a young squad. I think the coach was brave enough to play, a lot of young players in today's game. So, for me, it's just about continuing the path and continuing to improve to reach your goals.
Claudio.
Claudio Villalobos from Nashville Total Sports. Greg, in his side of what happened in the previous game and the fact that the U.S. pretty much put away the game in the first half, what can you tell us about perhaps a couple of things that you really like in terms of when you compare both games? And also, it's not that we haven't seen Team Weah playing this well before. We have. But how do you like the fact that he was pretty much unstoppable tonight?
Yeah, he was certainly dynamic, and it was great to see Timmy. He's such a good person, a great teammate, and a selfless worker on the field. So it was great to see him also play 90 minutes. We take him out of the game sometimes, and we challenged him to continue to play 90 minutes in this game, and he responded to that. So that was really good to see. In terms of takeaways from this game or from this camp, I certainly saw the group confident in attack. I think that we're confident that we can hurt teams with the ball, and it showed against Germany, it showed again tonight, and that was really good. And again, it's about in these high level games keeping a shutout and keeping the opponent limited to few chances, and that's something that we did tonight, and we didn't do so well against Germany, and we're gonna need to continue to improve on that.
Straight back.
Greg, Jacob James with the Tennessean. You've mentioned earlier in this camp about wanting to have kind of a plan B in the midfield without Tyler Adams available. And I guess how do you evaluate the midfield right now after these two games? You got two different looks in the starting lineup in there.
Yeah, it was different, right? And I think it always has a different look when Tyler's missing, but when you have workhorses in there still, whether it's Johnny or Weston or Eunice or Luca, Gio dropping deep into the midfield today. So there was definitely guys that can produce passes and produce dangerous attacks. So overall, I think the midfield did a good job in this game, and we're going to continue to evaluate moving forward.
We're going to take 2 more questions, and then we'll bring the coach from Ghana, and we'll do so virtually, beginning with Paul Tenorio.
Great, congrats on the performance tonight. Sorry to go to a topic not about your performance, but earlier today, Michael Bradley announced that he was going to be retiring this weekend. Obviously wore the captain's armband for the U.S. for a long time. I wonder if you could give some perspective on Michael's career from your vantage point, and how you think U.S. fans should remember him and his contributions to the program. Thank you.
You're welcome. Michael will go down as an icon in U.S. soccer history. Had a great career, both for the U.S. men's national team and for his club career. I remember 2006 World Cup. He was joining the team to train with us before we left for Germany, and I sat next to him at one dinner, and I remember just talking to him and hearing from him, and at that time, he was wise beyond his years, and who would have known he would have gone on to have such a fantastic career. But, very, very smart player, very determined player. He had, I think, almost everything in terms of the qualities you'd want in a player and a teammate. So very competitive, and it's no surprise that he played on some really strong U.S. teams. And when I think about the Confederations Cup, 2010 World Cup, he was front and center in that, and 2014 World Cup as well. So overall, congratulations to Michael on a great career, and he'll leave a legacy with the men's national team.
Last question comes from Charlie Bone.
Hey, Greg, congrats. I wanted to get a little more insight into Gio's performance, and also how you deployed him, and kind of how the players and the relationships fit into the shape. Because I know you like the 4-3-3, but it looks a little different nowadays. And I just wonder how you factor what are the risks and rewards of using him and kind of making everything work as well as possible in the attack.
I thought Gio was really, really good today. And perhaps man of the match type performance. We gave it to Serginho because he played 90 minutes and he was also really dynamic in his actions. But Gio got 2 goals, and besides the goals, it was how he brings players into the attack, how he is able to be calm on the ball, gives us that calm and the poise that we need at times, but then is decisive when making final passes. And to me, this performance was just really an indicator of his entire camp. He had, as I said before, he had a very strong camp, great mindset, great trainings, training sessions. And to me, it's not only offensive stuff that he did tonight, it's more what he did off the ball. I think relentless work. We talked about that before the game, relentless work rate defensively, and he certainly did that. So I think it was a good step for us in midfield today. We went with 2 and then 1, Gio a little bit higher. But I still think there's more to it where it can be flexible and rotating more, and we'll continue to work on that.
As we go, we'd like to congratulate the U.S. Power Chair soccer team, who just defeated England 3-1 in the Power Chair Football World Cup.
There we go. Let's go, guys. Thank you.
Christian, before you have to jump on a flight back to Italy, just talk about the response after the Germany game.
Yeah, it was huge for us. Obviously, that first half, you could just see the enthusiasm in the group, and it was a great performance. Obviously, nice to get the 4 goals in the first half, so it was a good turnaround for us.
When was the last time you had to plan out an indirect free kick inside the box like that? And what was the conversation like?
Yeah, those are something that obviously you don't train every day. So I think we just kind of made that call as a small group on the field, and decided what was best and give us the best opportunity to score, and it worked out.
Next window, it's part of Nations League quarterfinals. What can you guys build on and take from this game going into that window?
Yeah, I mean, we should feel confident after this game. I think, I think we learned a lot as well, even in our first match. So I think, some good important competition for us going into the next break, and it's gonna be a challenge, but I know these guys are ready for it.
Thanks, Christian. Take us through the goal.
Yeah, I mean, it was good pressure by Tim, and then he just played it across, and I saw the defender at the side of my eye, so I had to just have a bit of composure. But no, it was a good finish, and I said before I didn't mean for it to go that high, but I mean, we'll take it.
We just talked to Christian. How did you guys plan out that indirect free kick? And when was the last time you had to do something like that?
Yeah, I haven't seen an indirect free kick in a while. I mean, but it was good thinking from Christian just to slow it down, and obviously it was a good pass for. I mean, it was an easy assist for Gio, but I mean, he still had to do it, and obviously I'm happy Gio could get his goal as well.
All right, congrats on the win and safe flight.
Thank you, appreciate it.